Vidite. Samo prije vašeg pitanja, mislim, Nigel, samo da odgovorim na ovo što je postavljeno. Yes.
Yeah, I will answer your question. Interesting. In 2004, when Poland joined the European Union, I asked exactly the same question of our Home Secretary at the time. How many people, extra people, did he think would come to the UK from Poland once they joined the European Union? The government estimate was 13,000 people a year. In the first 2 years, 850,000 came. So when you open your borders to complete untrammeled free movement, it's very difficult to predict what the results may be. Very difficult to predict. But in our case, it represented the biggest ever migration into the United Kingdom that we've seen in the history of our country. And it has led to problems, suffice to say. Look, when you're an MEP, what happens is you get your aeroplane to Brussels Airport or to Strasbourg Airport, because remember that once every 4 weeks the travelling circus goes from Brussels down to Strasbourg. And when you get to the airport at Strasbourg, you'll see the passport lanes. One says EU nationals, one says the rest of the world, and the third one says European parliamentarians only. All right? And you go through that channel, and then there's a fleet of brand new Mercedes waiting to pick you up and take you off to the Parliament. And at any time during that week, all you've got to do is click your fingers, just as an ordinary backbench MEP, and that car is there to take you around, and you have a never-ending list of invitations to champagne breakfasts and lunches and dinners, and you get a salary of about €7,500 a month, and you get €50,000 a year given to you for general expenditure, but there's no need to produce any receipts. No need at all to produce any receipts. And then on top of that, you get nearly €250,000 a year, which you can use to employ people. To employ people. Staff. To employ people either in your office in Brussels or in the member state. So I mean, whichever way you look at it, gets $250,000 just for the staff. Yes. So whichever way you look at it, and whichever country you come from in the European Union, although of course the poorer the country you come from, the more attractive it is, whichever way you look at it, they have created a structure through money and through lifestyle that is really very, very attractive to the political classes across Europe. But what is the most attractive thing about it is this, that people I know, MEPs I know, who have supported the European project, if they suffer the unfortunate experience of losing their seat at elections, that doesn't matter a bit, because within weeks they've been given jobs by the European Commission. And I think for the political class, the EU is the best invention ever. It is a guaranteed job for life. It is a guaranteed best pension possibly available anywhere in the world. And we're all human beings, aren't we? You know, we're human beings. We are fairly easily corrupted. And I'm afraid that is just a reality of life. And in Brussels, they're very clever about it, and they've pretty much purchased the political class across Europe. The point that if the experts that are producing these reports are paid for by the EU institutions, they cannot, by definition, be giving neutral information. Because it's in their interest, isn't it, to tell the world what a wonderful thing this is. And this happens in every single applicant country. The so-called information campaign is all one-sided traffic. It's all one-sided traffic by a vested political class who will make even more money themselves if you join. So I'm very suspicious of it. Can I just say, sir, love the T-shirt. I've got several like it at home. One thing I want to say, you know, I've seen and met some interesting people here in Zagreb over the last couple of days. There's one thing I want to say to all of you who may well be looking to vote no when this referendum comes about, and I'm sure Tony would back me up on this, as a veteran of these campaigns. It is very, very important that all the different groups, be they left-wing or right-wing, whatever differences they may have on other areas of politics, it is absolutely vital that over the next month or two, these different groups of people start getting together and start trying to plan a no campaign. You know, even though you're taking on all the falsehoods and all the money on the other side, a well-organised, small no campaign with some influential friends from outside can achieve remarkable things. So it's very, very important that you start turning your minds in terms of making that a formal no camp.
Thank you, Nigel. Two more questions.
I just want to correct something that was said there. I'm not anti-European. This isn't being about being isolationist and petty-minded. But I am anti the European Union. I am anti Mr. Barroso. I am anti Herman Van Rompuy. And I'm really anti that wretched flag. And you're quite right, all of you. There's no legal basis for it to be flying over your government buildings in this country. It's a monstrosity. It's all part of the political class trying to get you thinking in a European way. And they all think, you know, in Brussels, that the peoples of Europe will come to love that flag and love that anthem. They are wrong. The peoples of Europe will come to resent it and hate it. We want to live in the European time zone. We want to trade together, cooperate together, be friends with each other. We do not want undemocratic rule through those institutions and that appalling flag all over our capital cities. I hate that flag. I want to see it removed forever.
Od izazova globalizacije. Prema tome nemojmo to smetnuti sa uma.
Hvala vam lijepo. I još jedno zadnje pitanje, molim vas, evo mlada gospodična.
It's actually not a question but a comment. Someone compared the pro-EU propaganda as like a Coca-Cola commercial. I thought it was very interesting. But I disagree with you. I wished it was a Coca-Cola propaganda. It's worse than that. Because what's been happening since your candidate country, so 2004, is that the EU has been giving Croatia, and the figures I'm giving can be found on the EU Commission website, so you can all check. 156 million euros, and it's all taxpayers' money for this. I wouldn't call it, I don't know if it's propaganda, it's brainwashing, because it goes via, funding, so then you can see a nice EU plaque and so on and so forth. And also, you were, mentioning, all of you, a proper referendum campaign. I'm all in favour, but I think you're all dreaming. It's not possible. The EU has just been giving €500,000 to a PR company to run a pro-EU propaganda. Do you have $500,000 in your pockets? Or do you have the money? It can't be fair. It just can't be fair.
Thank you.